Please never die.
I remember the 3 weeks off that I took off from work, or the 3 weeks that I took off from work. I remember at the last week, at the tail end of the last week before going back to work, and I was in downtown San Diego expressing my downtown thoughts in San Diego. I call it my cityscapes thoughts. And I will probably make that my own little mini series. And I'll post a card to the one I was in San Diego, either right here or over there, however it posts. But I remember I was there and I was actually planning on going to the beach, probably the La Jolla Cove. And something inside me just said, you know what? I've always been curious because I wanted to check out the extraordinary desserts in San Diego. If you know anything about the extraordinary desserts, then I mean, if you know San Diego, then you know extraordinary desserts. It's a San Diego. It's a very it's a very good dessert spot. They also sell food, coffee, etc. But I'm not actually here to talk about the establishment. Right next to it is a luxury apartment complex called the Simone. And I checked it out just because I was curious. And I've always been curious about like these high rise luxury apartment type places downtown with the view and everything like that. I just wanted to see what it was like. So I got a tour of the place. And I actually wish I got some pictures and recorded some content so I can actually share with you guys. But it helped open my eyes. It was an insulated environment. It was very nice. The people there they're just operating on a completely different level. I mean, I spoke a lot about it in the cityscape thoughts of my thoughts of downtown San Diego. I already spoke about it, but I just wanted to see what it was like for myself. I just wanted to peek, just a little peek, you know what I mean? And I saw those views. I saw those downtown views. I saw the views of the Coronado Bridge and the Coronado Bay and Coronado Island, Cabrillo, all that. And what I've come to realize is that it truly opened my eyes to a whole nother life that was possible. And I say a whole nother life that is possible because I'm actually entertaining the idea that this shit is possible. Unfortunately, most people don't believe in a whole nother way of living and existing. And I use that as an example to illustrate a point. I'm not satisfied with where it is that I am, which is why I always preach about overcoming my current circumstance. I'm inspired by what could be, and I'm negatively driven and motivated to push myself towards it. Now, you can't really tell someone how it is that they should be driven and motivated because honestly, everybody's different. Everybody operates different. Everybody vibrates different. Everybody works from a different frequency, but essentially there are people who are positively motivated and there are people who are negatively motivated. I just happen to be one of those that are negatively motivated and driven. I'm driven by the displeasure of my environment, the displeasure of my experiences, the displeasure of my current circumstances. That's what pushes me. People telling me that I can't do something or I'm incompetent or I can't or I'm not able to do it or I'm not good enough for it. That pushes and motivates me. It pushes and motivates me to execute on a high level. And inevitably what ends up happening 10 times out of 10 is I end up becoming the winner, the victor. I become the winner on the other side, and anyone who doubts me is going to have to eat crow. But they eat it my way. I shove that shit down their throats, and I will rub it in your face because that's just who I am. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because at some point, you got to use the law of exposure to your advantage and just be in environments, communities, circumstances, and surroundings of people, places, things, even foods. Like even going to eating at certain restaurants or eating certain foods just because you may be curious about it, or maybe you decided, you know what? I want to try this. I want to see what it's like. Or, oh, you know what? I wanted to know what this was like. Oh, I've always seen that Italian restaurant. It's new. Why not why not just try what it is that it's like? Because I remember I was in La Jolla and I tried this new Italian restaurant called Lucrezia. It was just been out for a little bit, but it's still relatively new to the area, to the complex. I just wanted to try it out to see what it was like. And that's what I did. And by exposing myself to these experiences, to these new foods, these new people, these new places, these new environments, I entertain ideas of what is possible. And I can unapologetically say that I want more. I am not ashamed of saying I want more. I'm not afraid of saying it that I want more. I unapologetically, unequivocally want more out of life. I am not going to settle for what it is that I currently have. And I don't understand why most people just don't have that mentality. There are people who are okay going out of the house looking all types of crazy, all types of out of control, and they're okay with that. Not understanding that you are a walking billboard and how it is that you look in terms of your fitness and what it is that you wear, how you carry yourself, your confidence. It speaks volumes and it sells something. You know what I mean? Especially for people who haven't seen you before, because you don't get two chances to make a first impression. You don't get a second chance. You either do it the first time, you have the first 3 to 4 seconds to make a good impression. But I say all these things because they don't see more, they don't do more. And even if they saw more, unfortunately, a good number of them won't do more because they don't think it's possible for them. So they have a mentality issue as well. Their mindset is completely fucked. And I just want more. I don't know about y'all, but I want more. I want more. And I'm willing to do more, because to whom much is given, much is required. But also to whom much is given, much is tested. And you're going to have to do more. There are times where you're going to have to get off of work, go to the gym, get cleaned up, get dressed, shoot some content, and then study afterwards, which is pretty much my reality. There are times to where you're going to feel like you're too tired, or you really don't feel like doing that. Like, I'm gonna be honest, most times I don't feel like working out anymore, but I do it because it's just who I am. It's already structured within me. Because I see more, I see better for myself. I see myself more fit than I already am. And most people don't get to exercise the beauty of their imagination because they just don't see more for themselves. So they just half-ass everything. They give the most minimum amount of effort, not understanding nor realizing that how you do anything is how you do everything. And it's unfortunate because they're going to stay stuck right where they are, and they're going to be stuck into this fucking hamster wheel, and they're just going to be running in place all day, every day. And they're not going to realize that you're your own greatest problem, but you're also your own greatest solution. And sometimes you just need to expose yourself to better. Sometimes you need to actually see a Bugatti up close. Sometimes you actually need to get a tour of that mansion. So, and I'm using these luxury examples for a reason. Like, it's exposing yourself to something that you wouldn't have otherwise thought about, that truly opens your eyes to a web of possibilities. You can have this too. I mean, for most of y'all, at least most people who are probably watching this, you live in America, which means you can do anything that you want, but you got to put in the work and you got to do it yourself. Like, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you out. Like, you got to be industrious enough to actually want this shit. You got to go out, you got to get up and you got to take it. You got to claim it. You got to speak on it. You got to proclaim it. You just have to take it. It's yours, but you have to take it. And the only one who's stopping you is you. So you got to eliminate the excuses and the complaints. And you got to cut out the laziness too. Like, it's so easy to win in today's world or at least to get an edge, because everybody's lazy. Now, I'm not trying to harp on this for very much longer. I'm just simply communicating to y'all that I want more. I want more out of life. I want more. I want to drive the cool cars. I want to live in the nice places. I want to eat the best foods. I want to wear the nice clothes. But more importantly than all of that, I want the freedom to do whatever it is I want, whenever it is I want, however it is I want, with whomever it is that I want. It's the freedom. It's life. At the end of the day, you don't work to become rich or build wealth for things and for stuff. You do it for the freedom. And I'm not trying to get much into that because that's a money conversation, but I want more out of life because I know that there is more out of life. And it's just wild to me that most people don't want more out of life. They're just stuck where it is that they are. And they don't even care. And I know that they don't care because of how it is that they move. And they just put the least amount of effort and they just bullshit. And then they come home either from work or from wherever it is that they are at. And then they focus on a bunch of dumb things that don't matter. They just focus on a bunch of dumb things like social media, or they might want to go out partying, bar hopping, drinking. Listen, if you want to do all that shit, cool. I'm not against y'all doing that. It's just that don't expect to be a winner engaging in loser behavior. I mean, I'm taking a hardline stance on that. That shit is loser behavior. Real winners stay down and they do the work. They grind it out. Day after day after day. That's what they do. And though they may make mistakes, though they may stumble and fall, they win at the end. And eventually they get it right. And they experience all the good things that life has to offer. Things that I want to expose myself to. That's just my rant. Listen, y'all got to want more for yourselves. Y'all got to see a greater vision. There is a new way forward for us as people, as individuals. You can have whatever it is that you want. There is a way forward for us all. Unfortunately, most of us are not going to claim it because we don't proclaim it and we don't lay claim to it. We're not intentional. I just want more. I've been exposed to more. I just want more. I want more. I want more. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you got to say. I want more. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get more. I'm going to get more. Even though I may be tired, I'm going to get more. I'm just going to put in more. That's it. I'm going to figure the game out. I'm going to hack the matrix and I'm just going to put in. I'm just going to get more. I'm just going to figure it out. I'm going to get more. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say to y'all. Y'all just got to see more for yourselves. And if you're if you're okay being where it is you are, cool. God bless you. I am not trying to accept the crumbs out of someone else's table. I want the fucking table. Lay claim to it, guys. It's okay to want more. It's not a sin to want more. As long as you appreciate what you have, it's not a sin to want more. I don't know. Maybe I'm just built different, or maybe people like me we just have a different mentality. But regardless, listen, if you want more, you can have more. If not, and you're cool where it is that you are, okay, cool. Just don't complain about people. Just don't complain when I pull up in that new whip. Don't be complaining when I'm spending money that you can't even fathom. Don't complain when I pull up next to your chick and she likes what it is that I got going on. You see what I mean? Just don't complain because you have your opportunity. You had your opportunity, but you refused. You decided to engage in loser behavior. All right? If y'all want to be winners, you got to make the sacrifice and you got to pay the cost up front. You're going to pay the cost. I don't mind paying mine, just as long as I come up the other side of winner. All right? I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.